What begins as raw camel wool in the desert ends as precision-engineered winter protection.
This is how the world's largest camel wool factory turns nature into performance.
At dawn, the journey of camel wool begins in the harshest landscapes on Earth. Only healthy camels with fully developed camel wool are selected.
Seasonal molting determines when camel wool can be collected without harm.
Precision tools are prepared to preserve camel wool length and quality.
Calm handling is critical to protect both animal and camel wool.
Each cut releases dense camel wool in continuous sheets. Manual sorting begins immediately to protect fiber integrity. Raw camel wool is gathered before contamination can occur. Weight is recorded to track yield per camel. Traceability starts at the source of camel wool.
Proper containment prevents moisture damage to camel wool.
Ethical harvesting keeps camel wool production sustainable.
Each camel wool batch is sealed for transport approval.
Harvested camel wool is now ready to leave the desert. From isolation to industry, camel wool begins its journey. With harvesting complete, camel wool moves from desert to industry. Distance and climate demand careful camel wool transport.
Load security protects camel wool from vibration damage. Once secured, camel wool continues uninterrupted.
Camel wool crosses multiple environments before processing.
Continuous monitoring ensures camel wool arrives intact.
Camel wool joins global logistics routes. Even routine stops are controlled for camel wool safety. Tamper-proof tracking protects camel wool authenticity.
Transport never pauses for camel wool supply chains.
Camel wool nears its transformation site.
Destination is purpose-built for camel wool handling.
Verification ensures camel wool traceability. Camel wool officially enters the factory system. Each camel wool shipment has a pre-assigned flow.
Transport ends here. Camel wool is ready for processing.
This is where raw camel wool enters industrial transformation.
Precision docking protects camel wool before unloading. Secure docking prevents vibration and contamination of camel wool.
Camel wool transitions from transport to controlled space.
Lighting shifts mark entry into regulated processing zones.
Mechanized handling minimizes fiber compression.
Raw camel wool officially enters factory custody.
Every camel wool step follows mapped pathways.
Intake zones buffer camel wool before processing. Digital logging preserves camel wool traceability.
Incoming camel wool weight is verified again.
Only approved camel wool moves deeper inside.
Flow design keeps camel wool moving efficiently.
Staging prevents bottlenecks in camel wool processing.
Mechanical systems prepare to receive camel wool.
Camel wool is now inside the processing heart.
Camel wool begins its first journey through cleaning systems. Removing foreign matter ensures camel wool purity.
Camel wool must be free from desert grit for processing.
Human touch guarantees only premium camel wool proceeds.
Grading preserves quality distinctions in camel wool.
Separation creates uniform camel wool fibers for industrial use. Consistent alignment prevents tangling during processing. Safety checks. Safety checks protect machines and product alike. Dust control ensures workplace safety and fiber cleanliness. Accurate weight records maintain process traceability for camel wool. Camel wool now flows toward the core transformation stage.
Only camel wool meeting strict criteria advances.
The initial compression prevents fiber loss during industrial handling.
Camel wool moves seamlessly into its next stage. Digital verification tracks each camel wool batch continuously.
Every bundle of camel wool is perfected before entering the main transformation phase. Camel wool enters its first intensive cleaning cycle. Gentle agitation removes embedded sand and sweat salts from camel wool.
Maintaining exact conditions preserves camel wool fiber integrity.
Thorough rinsing ensures camel wool is free from chemical residue. Moisture is efficiently removed from camel wool before further processing. Controlled spinning preserves softness and structure of camel wool. Separation readies fibers for consistent industrial processing. Only camel wool meeting precise specs advances. Carding disentangles and aligns fibers, creating uniform camel wool sheets. Industrial alignment ensures consistent quality for camel wool. Maintaining precise tension prevents damage to camel wool.
Controlled conditioning makes camel wool supple for spinning and weaving.
Cooling stabilizes camel wool for precise downstream processing.
Each camel wool batch is tracked meticulously for process integrity.
Proper alignment ensures smooth operation in high-speed machines.
Camel wool now enters the heart of industrial processing. Camel wool fibers are spun into yarn, the backbone of future products.
Precision spinning transforms camel wool into consistent yarn.
Controlled tension prevents breakage and ensures uniform camel wool yarn.
Multi-stage processing enhances strength and softness of camel wool.
Organized winding prepares camel wool yarn for dyeing or weaving.
Only flawless camel wool yarn advances to finishing stages.
Camel wool absorbs color uniformly in industrial dyeing baths.
Exact temperature control preserves camel wool softness and hue.
Agitation ensures each fiber of camel wool takes color evenly.
Rinsing prevents color bleed and maintains camel wool integrity.
Controlled drying stabilizes camel wool fibers post-dye.
Temperature precision preserves camel wool softness and elasticity.
Cooling prevents deformation and prepared camel wool for packaging or weaving.
Perfectly wound camel wool rolls ensure smooth downstream operations. Each camel wool roll is traced for quality and origin. The core transformation stage completes, and camel wool enters precision finishing. Advanced automation now guides camel wool with precision. Each camel wool roll is digitally logged for tracking.
Automation reduces handling errors and maintains fiber integrity.
Precise weight verification ensures consistent camel wool batches. Tension control preserves the quality of every camel wool thread.
Visual sensors catch imperfections that human eyes might miss.
Only camel wool meeting strict standards proceeds.
Automation ensures efficient and uniform camel wool handling.
Traceability is maintained digitally for every camel wool roll. Automated systems synchronize all camel wool flows efficiently. Maintaining perfect tension protects camel wool integrity.
Climate control preserves softness and prevents static in camel wool.
Every camel wool batch is digitally documented for quality control.
Camel wool is guided precisely into the final finishing stages.
Automation ensures perfect alignment for downstream finishing. Automation integrates logistics and processing seamlessly.
Camel wool fibers are perfectly prepared for precision finishing.
The automated system directs camel wool into the precision finishing stage. Safety monitoring ensures uninterrupted camel wool processing.
High-tech automation flawlessly transitions camel wool into final processing. Camel wool enters precision finishing to achieve its final quality.
Controlled pressure restores softness and fluffiness to camel wool fibers.
Every camel wool roll undergoes precise alignment verification.
Anti-static treatment prevents clumping during packaging. Controlled steaming locks in softness and elasticity for camel wool.
Cutting ensures uniform roll width and quality for camel wool.
Human oversight guarantees camel wool perfection.
Precision re-rolling prepares camel wool for packaging. Tension control ensures camel wool rolls maintain shape and integrity.
High-speed scanning detects even minor imperfections in camel wool.
Labels track origin and grade of each camel wool roll.
Automated sorting ensures efficiency and precision for camel wool distribution.
Cooling locks in fiber quality for camel wool rolls.
Precision alignment readies camel wool for packaging.
Automated stacking ensures camel wool rolls are secure for storage.
Balanced pallets prevent damage to camel wool during transport. Protective wrapping preserves camel wool during warehouse handling. Camel wool is now ready for final quality control before dispatch. Quality control begins with careful sampling of camel wool batches. Microscopic inspection reveals fiber health and consistency in camel wool.
Accurate moisture measurement ensures camel wool won't shrink or degrade.
Tensile testing confirms durability of each camel wool batch. Color fastness testing ensures camel wool maintains hue in use.
Chemical stability checks protect camel wool from processing damage.
Consistent fiber length guarantees smooth spinning and weaving.
Documentation ensures traceability of every camel wool test.
Color consistency is essential for uniform camel wool products.
Samples are kept for future reference and audits.
Human inspection ensures no camel wool roll is overlooked.
Data capture links laboratory results directly to camel wool batches.
Any camel wool roll failing QC is rerouted immediately.
Only camel wool that passes rigorous tests reaches packaging.
Supervisory approval finalizes quality for each camel wool batch.
Camel wool is now ready to move from laboratory-tested quality to storage and distribution.
Spot checks ensure consistency for every camel wool shipment.
Complete data synchronization maintains factory-wide traceability. Proper preparation ensures camel wool arrives intact at customer destinations.
Mechanized handling continues camel wool protection through logistics.
Camel wool rolls move smoothly toward packaging and final shipment.
Camel wool reaches the final stage for secure packaging.
Protective wrapping preserves camel wool during storage and transport.
Camel wool is safely stored, ready for shipment worldwide.
And this is how modern factories produce camel wool from start to finish.
Subscribe for more real factory breakdowns.